Hey there, so I'm Virya. I'm the chair of the Brixton Buddhist Community, and this is a short piece for me to remember and recollect Bhante Sangharakshita, the founder of the Triratna Buddhist order, and a man who died 2 years ago today. I just want to say a little bit about what Bhante has done for me in a way. He's done a lot of other stuff for lots of other people and even the world itself as well. But for me personally, coming in contact with the Triratna Buddhist movement, which he established, has been absolutely life-changing, and that's no exaggeration. It's often that kind of adjective is bandied around quite a lot now, isn't it? But really, absolutely life-changing. I was definitely searching for something in my life, something more meaningful and substantial than the day job I was doing, albeit one that required skill and expertise and so on, but nevertheless lacking deeper meaning. And encountering fellow practitioners, Buddhist practitioners, and starting to live in accordance with Buddhist principles has felt to me like it's what I was always looking for. And I always had a feeling something else was out there. And I really dread to think what my life would have been like had I not had the good fortune to come across the Triratna Buddhist movement. And this all came out of Bhante, of course. He, was living in India for 20 years, practicing assiduously as a Buddhist practitioner, and realised in the 60s, the late 60s, that he needed to return to the UK to establish a Buddhist movement here. I wasn't really around in his sort of heyday, but I really loved hearing stories from people that were around at that time. And it seems as though Bhante basically had this great inspiration, this great vision, and a lot, Triratna was quite small in those days, and a lot of it, I think, was held aloft by that vision of a Buddhist organisation that not only could provide the conditions to help people practice, to help people attain insight and understanding, and alleviate suffering, but also to really help the world, to really absolutely step out there to help alleviate the suffering in the world, to offer an ethical, moral perspective to big questions. And I haven't had that much personal contact with Bhante. I had some, which was significant for me, but most of my engagement with him has been via the organisations that he set up and via the people that he taught and ordained himself. And I myself have given a lot of time to that. I've, in a certain way, committed my life to supporting others and supporting the organisations which help people practice as Buddhists. So I really, that vision of his has always been the thing that's most electrified me. So even though I didn't get it firsthand, as it were, it's been so significant for me. And I still believe it. I still believe that through Buddhist practice we can not only help ourselves and create something, support for our happiness that goes beyond mundane things, but also I really believe that by sincerely practicing and by sincerely helping others, we too can help to transform the world and the society that we live in. So yes, I'm remembering you, Bhante. Thank you for all that you have done for me and for everyone else. And I rejoice in you. I rejoice in you.
To me, Urgyen Sangharakshita is a great exemplar, a great teacher and a great benefactor. So I'll say something about each of those three. As an exemplar of dedication to Dharma life, of sheer determination, especially as a young man in India, it's extraordinary. The 2 years, for example, he spent in the late 40s, wandering barefoot for 2 years from place to place with his friend Buddharakshita, is extraordinary in his dedication. And then for the 15 or 20 years that followed in India, his efforts to teach Buddhism, especially to the new Buddhists, the so-called untouchable Buddhists that were emerging in the late 50s. As a teacher, he's translated the often arcane teachings and language of the Dharma into a form that I've been able to understand and practice. Living here in the modern West, very, very different conditions to 2,500 years ago in India. I'm very grateful for that. But thirdly, and in a way most importantly, in founding Triratna, this Buddhist community that we all benefit from, he's given me my life, really, something to participate in, a community to participate in, which I've been doing now for 25 years, and also a community to work for. I've worked particularly as a fundraiser, fundraising for his work in India, or its inheritor in the Karanar Trust, and then now for Future Dharma Fund to spread the Dharma internationally. So I'm very, very grateful to Bhante for being those things, for being an exemplar, a great teacher, and a great benefactor in terms of forming this community, this Triratna Buddhist community and order that I'm able to, as I say, both participate in and serve.
Hello, my name's Amaladana. The first memory I have of Sangharakshita was of about 20 years ago, listening to a tape cassette of his, taken from a whole library of his teachings, and played by one of the early teachers of the Brixton Sangha. I remember listening intently, partly because of the quality of the tape and the acoustics in the room, and partly because I was unfamiliar with the way Bhante spoke, so sort of deliberate and precise and old-fashioned. I became used to hearing references to Bhante, but it was only when I was thinking of becoming a mitra and considering the third declaration, I feel that the Triratna Buddhist community is the main context in which I want to deepen my practice, that I had to consciously decide whether I had confidence in Bhante's teaching and approach. I think it was then that I really began to appreciate and feel gratitude towards him, and I realised that the classes and retreats and events that I've been enjoying were all part of his vision, and that his vision offered me a path into the vastness of Buddhism. Becoming a mitra and then following the ordination path gave me the chance to study and reflect more deeply on Bhante's presentation of the Dharma, and to wonder at the way he distilled the enormity of the Buddhist canon to make it intelligible and relevant, and to do this within the context of a real Sangha. Bhante made himself available to people, and I managed to overcome the awe I felt at taking this opportunity to arrange a visit to see him at Adhisthana in March 2018, just before my ordination retreat. He asked me about the Brixton Sangha and said that he remembered going to Brixton as a boy with his mother when there was a big shop to do. When my visit was coming to an end, he said he'd something he'd like to give me, and he had pressed this little Buddha Rupa into the palm of my hand. I was surprised to receive something from somebody who'd already given me so much, and I was also surprised at the force with which he pressed it into my hand. On leaving, he said he hoped that we'd meet again. Shortly after I got back from my ordination retreat that year, Bhante died, and so the next time I saw him was at a viewing of his body at his funeral. It was one of the first events I'd attended as an order member, and was a wonderful celebration of Bhante, taking place in the beautiful grounds of Adhisthana and overflowing with beautiful Buddhists. I think my sense of Bhante and my respect, gratitude and love will continue to grow as my practice deepens.
What does Ergun Sangharakshita mean to me? Firstly, the breadth and depth of his understanding of Buddhism or the Dharma. Secondly, the clarity of his presentation of Buddhism. And thirdly, his encouragement of friendship in the Sangha. I'm wearing a red shirt. It's Padmasambhava Day where I'm recording this. And that's one of the robes of Padmasambhava. Bhante was named Ergun Sangharakshita when he lived in Kalimpong. And the fourth one is Bhante's acts of kindness, personal kindness to people, including myself. He stayed in the Birmingham community where I was living in the early 90s. And I had a dilemma. I'd been offered a post to Market Windhorse Publications books, and I was offered the chance of moving to Rivendell in Sussex. And I didn't know what to do, so I went to speak to him and chat with him. And he said, "I don't know you well enough, Robert. so I made my own decision. I did move to Rivendell. The last personal act of kindness I can remember, I was helping organise the Order Convention in Norfolk in 2003. And he walked across the car park one day when I was rushing off to buy some more flowers for the shrine. And I stopped. And he came up to me. He said, "How are you, Rob Ratnachuda?" And I said, "I'm well, Bhante. I'd recovered from 4 years of ME." He was also giving me a teaching mindfulness to slow down that day. That's what I can remember about Ergun Sangharakshita.
It's hard for me to sum up what Bhante means to me in just 2 minutes. Well, I call Sangharakshita Bhante because after 25 years of involvement, he still very much truly feels like my teacher. I still go back over teachings I've studied for many years, and I'm still coming across new teachings I haven't come across because he was so prolific, and they still deeply inspire me and blow me away with their clarity and wisdom and depth. And of course, I would have liked to have had a perfect teacher, one without controversy. He was human, but my overwhelming sense is one of gratitude of how he benefited so many people, how he's benefited the world, all over the world, in fact, including India. And I just think, yes, my life has just gained so much richness and depth and meaning through the conditions he set up. I don't think I would have been a Buddhist if it wasn't for Bhante, and I'm so deeply fulfilled in that path. And if you're new to Triratna, you probably won't have much of a sense of Sangharakshita. It's not like when I first came along where we listened to cassettes of his talks all the time, which I found very inspiring. However, I just would say that whatever you've met in Triratna that you like or find of benefit, the friendliness, the openness, the pathways for growth and development, I'd say 90% are all down to Sangharakshita and what he put in place for us that still continues as his legacy. So in a way, you have met Sangharakshita through, I would say, the best of what our movement has to offer.